fuck me running. John, your camera's gone. Jesus Christ. Unbelievable. Hold on. You didn't see any of this. Basketball. Gimme the ball because I'm gonna dunk it. Welcome to the first episode of the second season of everyone's favorite basketball podcast, Corner 3. I am one of your hosts, Nicholas Grayson. With me today, as always, is John Warren, head of basketball large.
Head of basketball large.
Head of large. What if the ball was bigger? Next week we should come up with a set of new rules that the NBA should add.
Yeah, not stuff like, backcourt, changes
that.
or like FIBA goaltending rules. Like, no. Like stuff like, we'll come up with it. Yeah. But stuff like if you slam someone into the scorer's table, they're eliminated. From the game.
Yeah. Or like introducing power plays.
Oh, that's a
good idea though.
That's a great idea. Like, no more free throws, just power plays.
Oh my god! So did you know that in the G League? Okay, this is a basketball podcast. This is our second season of the basketball podcast. Welcome. If this is your first time watching, this is a live show on Twitch now. What's up? We talk about basketball for the length of the NBA season, and we will also hit the NBA the WNBA a little bit because it's the middle of the finals. John, have you been watching any of those games?
On and off, yes, but they've been
fucking incredible. Legitimately an all-time WNBA finals. You know who's still fucking good? Diana Taurasi. Do you know how old Diana Taurasi
is? You could name very many old players right now that could fit that bill, but Diana Taurasi is still
Diana Taurasi.
The GOAT.
Diana Taurasi is. How old do you think Diana Taurasi is, John?
41.
She's 39. But
wow, so she's still got a few years in her.
That's the fucked up part.
Yeah,
she has been playing professional basketball since 2004. She's been playing organized basketball since at least 2000, which is when she started at UConn. So presumably she had been playing for 8 years prior to that.
Yeah.
So she's been playing basketball
a long time.
For about as long as I've been alive. And she is still one of the best players in the history of professional basketball.
Yeah.
And then Candace Parker just does Candace Parker things.
Still. I know.
Diana Taurasi, well, she didn't have the baby, but they just had a baby.
Yeah.
It's fucked up. Anyway.
I know.
Welcome to the Basketball Podcast. We're talking about
basketball.
The NBA starts up in just a few days. 3 days? 4 days? 3 days? It's the 18th.
It is, as of this, it is 4 days. So the 19th, that's when this starts. So that's on Tuesday.
Yeah. So we've got a lot to talk about.
We have a full off season of stuff to talk about.
Hey, John, it's been a good off season.
It's been a pretty good off season.
Depending on who you are, it's been a fun off season.
If you're a 76ers fan, it's been a pretty bad off season.
Well, it's been. I mean, they just need to find a new slant, It's fine. Where do you want to start? You want to just kind of go around the league, starting in the West? I think the biggest moves, obviously, with the best team in the history of the National Basketball Association, my Los Angeles Lakers. You ever heard of a little guy called Russell Westbrook? Anyway, he plays for the Lakers now.
You ever
heard of a little guy called Carmelo Anthony?
Yeah.
He plays for the Los Angeles Lakers now.
Mm-hmm.
What's this guy's name? Malik Monk had a breakout performance in the 2020 National Basketball Association Finals for the Miami Heat. He plays for the Los Angeles Lakers now.
Right.
Now, the cumulative age of this team is 785 years old.
It's very old. It's a very old team.
You know what wins championships? Experience and age. Yeah. No team with a child on it has ever won the NBA Finals.
Well, you don't have. You're in no danger of that. Their biggest injury woe from the offseason is Trevor Ariza.
Yeah,
so I think we're dealing with an old team here.
I thought about this when I was prepping today, but Trevor Ariza when the Lakers inevitably don't win a ring this year, which we'll talk about later.
Yeah, we should talk about that. Yeah,
but there is a chance, and I don't actually know if this has happened before in the history of the NBA. But if the Lakers win a ring this year, Trevor Ariza will have won a ring with the same team with a 10-year gap in between both of those rings. And I don't know if that's happened before in the NBA. Because the
would
Lakers
be very hard to believe.
Yeah, because the Lakers won in 2011, and then it's 2021. So if they win and Trevor Ariza is still on the team and has not been traded away for, I don't know, Mario Chalmers is coming back.
Ganja Horn is Bill saying Russell. Might be Bill Russell. Bill Russell's probably done that.
Do you think we can get the guy who hosts Around the Horn to do? Remember when he used to just do research for PTI?
Tony Reale,
and he just did research for these exact questions. He was on BasketballReference.com.
Sure. Yeah, you're asking me if you think we can get Tony Reale to do research?
No. I'm saying, do you think we can get our own Tony Reale?
Sure,
but not actually Tony Reale. I'm on.
Yeah, we could do that.
I guess Bill Russell does count. I guess I just wasn't thinking about, because Bill Russell only played for the one team.
He was only a Celtic. Yeah. I mean, so he was there the whole time. Yeah. From what you're saying, basically leaving, being a journeyman, and coming back to the team. I don't know if that's happened. Yeah, that's true.
So the Lakers. It's weird. The Lakers definitely did blow it all up, except I don't think we lost very much to get the names that we got. The Lakers traded away KCP, Kentavious Caldwell-Pope, legitimately he is the Trevor Ariza of those 2010s Lakers championship teams. That is the role that KCP played.
And now he'll be an 82 game starter for the Wizards, probably.
Yeah, which is great for him. He's gonna get a max deal probably, which he deserves. But it's the Wizards, so they've got money to spend. Oh, we finally got rid of Kyle fucking Kuzma.
Yeah.
So I didn't. Now, if you told me that we were gonna be able to get rid of Kyle Kuzma and get in return Russell Westbrook last year, I would have been like, you're so fucking stupid.
You're out of your mind. Remember when last year we also said Russell Westbrook was washed?
That was also dumb. We said a lot of dumb stuff on this.
We said a lot of really dumb stuff. In fact, we should probably go back and do a supercut of all the really dumb shit that we said last year.
I think this year we should just hedge every single take that we have.
I agree.
And just in the same breath as making the take, we should also say, but I also would be not surprised if that didn't happen. And then that way no one can bully us for it.
Right, no one can bully us.
So the Lakers, I mean, it's hard to say this about a team. It's hard to not say this about a team that has LeBron James on it, right? But I would say favorites in the West, even over the Suns, who had an incredible season last year. But
the only thing I'll say is that all we've heard in the offseason from LeBron, from Russ, from basically everyone on the Lakers team is everyone is pleasantly surprised about how good the fit is between Russ and LeBron. Yeah. We have not played a single game yet. So I will believe that when I see it.
I mean, all three of them were on the floor against the Warriors the other night. You know what?
It looked bad. That's fine.
It didn't look good. They're all
none of that matters.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. But as a person who watched that game, it didn't look great. You know what's bad on the court currently? Spacing.
Yeah.
Because they have LeBron James and also Russell Westbrook on the same fucking basketball team.
Right. Yeah. I mean, to me, it is on paper, whenever you put Russ with someone who I think is a natural, especially later in his career, distributor, kind of do-it-all player, when you have two do-it-all players on your squad at the same time, it hasn't made sense for, I think, any squad that I've seen.
Yeah.
I think, and I think even Harden and Russ seem to be a better fit for me because at least Harden had range game.
He has a range, but he has range and then does not pass. Like facilitating is not what James
Not
Harden
priority.
is like,
No.
yeah. I think what is going to happen, and we'll have to move on, but I think the thing that's going to happen with the Lakers specifically is that obviously this team is going to be not very good before Christmas, because that's always what happens. LeBron James doesn't try until Christmas Day. When was the last time LeBron didn't play on Christmas? Again, see, we need a Tony Reale. We gotta get somebody.
The last time he didn't play on Christmas was either before he was in the league and they did Christmas games, or he was injured or something.
Or like the lockout
season. Yeah, I mean he's been scheduled to play a Christmas game, I think, every year.
That must suck for him.
Yeah.
But I think that team's not going to be able to figure it out until Christmas. And I think what's going to happen is that they are the second unit is going to turn into is LeBron on the floor or is Russell Westbrook on the floor? Sure, and there will be very few situations, unless the game is like being closed out, where both of those guys are on the floor at the same time. And you know what that does for LeBron James? It has him play the game of basketball less, which is what I need personally for me, so his legs don't explode.
We need LeBron's legs to stay healthy. Yeah.
I want to be able to have kids that could, in theory, play with LeBron James in the NBA. You
know, LeBron, you can't retire until Nikki's kids can play with you. But I mean, like, I think just one parting shot for the Lakers. I think, like, I agree. I think they're probably my favorite in the West. We can get to our full predictions in a bit, but like, I think my hunch, even though on paper everyone is going Phoenix is ready, they need to take a next step. Good. My guess is that they will take a step back and then take a step forward next year.
Yeah. I would agree with that.
Yeah.
I also think, I mean, we can just also start talking about the Suns. The Suns had a great offseason because they kept all of the guys that played with them in the National Basketball Association finals last year.
Yes.
And that's good. Yeah. That's good team building. However,
that's called good GM. Yeah, good GM.
However, the owner, Robert Sarver, won't give Ayton the max.
Yep.
Because he's cheap.
So we're going to have to deal with that all
year. And like, if I'm Ayton, it's different, right? Because he's 17, 13 years old. Does anybody know?
He's got the oldest face and the youngest age.
Yeah.
He's the new Greg Oden.
He's Greg Oden too. Well, no, Zion is gonna just be Greg Oden. We'll get to him in a second. But like, he's not. The ownership won't give him the max, and I legitimately can't figure out why. Is he the best player out of that draft? No, it's obviously Luka. But
then it's Trey.
And then it's Trey.
I mean, there are a few players that I would say are better than DeAndre.
And like, I understand the appeal of like drafting a big, like a star big, because like you very rarely do those come through.
Right.
But also, he is very good and very young. I would actually say that he's on a trajectory to be better than Karl Anthony Towns.
Yes.
Who has absolutely deserved the max. So
he deserved the max. I think he's plateaued, but I think and I wonder if Cat plateauing along with other bigs, if they're not in the Nikola Jokic model, people are like, I don't know what to do with these players.
Cat specifically, I also think has like, that team has literally blown up and then been rebuilt around him.
They did him dirty
over the course of the last 5 years. He played with Jimmy Butler 3 years ago.
I know.
That is unreal to think about.
I know.
And then the last 2 years for him in his personal life have also been abysmal.
Very bad.
So
he gets a pass. For not having a stellar year or two.
But it's like, it is very bizarre to me to like not. You just went to the finals, my guy, Robert Sarver, listener of this podcast for sure. Give this dude the max.
Yeah. Yeah, the more when Ayton came out, and I knew he wasn't going to be as good as Luka or Trey, and I was right. I kind of thought, okay, well, this is just another big that'll probably be a bit of a journeyman and whatever. But he really established himself as a good anchor for that team last year. And yeah, when you have a really good big,
who is,
that I think
knock
is
on
that I
fucking
think
wood,
is
he's not injury prone.
he's not injury prone, and is also, I think, more solid than those kind of like Mason Plumlee, like dime a dozen bigs in the league that I thought he might have turned into. He's definitely better than those guys. So why not? What? I guess my question would be like, what are you trying to do instead if you're not gonna sign DeAndre Ayton to the max?
They also,
that answer is not clear to me.
It's not clear. They also don't really have that much space because they gave Chris Paul so much money.
Right.
They are the only team that can pay him that much money. So I don't get it. It doesn't really make any sense.
I don't get it either.
We can very quickly go through the rest of the West. Memphis, I think, is going to make a step this year because I think Ja Morant is going to make a step this year.
Ja's really good.
The Pelicans, I think, are going to take a step back because Zion he does have Greg Oden disease.
I just real quick. Do you remember years ago when Zion was in college?
Yes.
And he drove to the hoop so hard that he blew his shoe out.
Yeah.
That was the moment that, and I think everyone was just like so blown away by that. That was genuinely the moment I was like, this guy is going to be in the league for 3 years.
Yeah. And he literally,
and that's very sad.
It's very sad. However, I think he went to one of the worst teams in the league to support like that.
Yes.
Like the style of play, his style of play explicitly needed to change.
Yeah.
The Pelicans were not the team to facilitate that change because the Pelicans were, holy shit, we got LeBron too.
We fucking did it. Yeah.
And they were like, we need to win right now. Now, Zion Williamson did average 23 points a game last year. Very good basketball player.
Very, very good basketball player. I just don't think he can stay healthy.
I don't think he's going to be able to stay healthy. This has also like been a rumor since he fucking joined the Pelicans. I do not think he resigns there after his rookie deal is up.
No.
For like a multitude of reasons, but like,
yeah, I don't see any future with. I mean, they couldn't make it work with Anthony Davis. Mm-hmm. They probably won't make it work with Zion. Yeah. I would argue that Anthony Davis is a better player. So if they can't,
I also would argue that.
Yeah. So I think like they've surrounded Zion with good players.
Yes.
But I don't know if they're complementary players.
Yeah, it's the dregs of the young Lakers team still.
Yeah.
Like they sent some of those guys away, but like
I think Brandon Ingram is still I think untapped kind of potential there.
Can you
but
imagine Brandon Ingram on this Los Angeles Lakers team?
I cannot.
Like instead of Trevor Ariza, it's Brandon Ingram.
I am also doing that same thing, frankly, with Lonzo Ball, which we can talk about in a little while. I was not sold on Lonzo Ball until a little bit more recently too. So if they had just stuck it out, you're talking about a LeBron, a Brandon Ingram. You're talking about a
we don't win
situation.
In 2020, but that team is future proofed.
Yeah, that team is future. Now the Lakers, not going back to them necessarily, they are.
We're in win yesterday mode.
Yeah, I mean, y'all in the Nets are like trying to win a championship for something that no one wants to win, which is the least future-proof team in the history of the league. But yeah, I mean, the rest of the West is interesting to me. Let's talk about Denver for a second. I think like
they're gonna regress so hard.
I think so too. Jokic just came off of an MVP season. I think he'll be great, fine. But I think all those other pieces are going to show themselves as being not as good as a lot of people thought they were last year.
Absolutely.
I think Jamal Murray, is a great player, but I think his greatness from those bubble days is behind us.
Also, he tore his ACL.
Yes. So that's a huge problem.
It's hard to. It is less difficult to come back from that, but your game is necessarily different.
It's super
after
different.
That injury. The Thunder are going to be average. They will miss the playoffs barely. They will be around 500. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander will get a max deal after this season, though. Is my take. Who gives a shit about the Jazz?
Now, you want to say that player's name one more time?
Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. Is that not his name? What's his name?
Nope, it's Shai
Gilgeous-Alexander. Fuck.
He did that on purpose. Gregorius Alexander.
It's Gilgeous-Alexander. No one gives a shit about the Jazz. They will be good in the regular season and then fall apart in the playoffs like they always do. Fuck Rudy Gobert.
You're stalling.
Me?
You're stalling. You're stalling to get to the team that we should be really talking about.
The Portland Trail Blazers.
No.
The Sacramento Kings.
No. Although I think the Sacramento Kings might make the playoffs.
I wanna talk about, before we get out of here, not anytime soon, but just as a reminder, chat.
Right.
I wanna talk about League Pass teams, because there are a handful of teams that this season literally it feels like Adam Silver is like, I need some of these teams in this league. We need to sell this SVOD, folks. Like, we gotta have some money. What if the Chicago Bulls had Lonzo Ball and Alex Caruso? The Clippers are not going to be good because Kawhi Leonard has a torn ACL and he's not coming back. Nobody fucking knows about it. I don't understand. It is unbelievable that nobody is talking about it. But it's because it's the Clippers and no one gives a shit. But Kawhi Leonard's ACL is done. It's done.
It's done. Yeah.
Like,
it's not there.
It's not. Yeah. Like, it was already fucking busted. He has a torn ACL. He's not playing this season.
He's not playing. He is not on their on the depth charts that the NBA produces. They have injury labels for players. Kawhi Leonard's not on the depth chart.
Yeah.
Like, he is not playing for this team this year. So the Clippers are toast because Paul George might average 40 points a game because they've got nothing fucking else going on.
And they'll score
but
8.
He's still going to be the worst 40-point a game player that has ever played the game of basketball.
Yeah.
So the Clippers are going to be trash. I'm here to talk about
the Golden State Warriors,
the Dallas Mavericks.
That team's going to be
I'm here to tell
about
you
the same as they were last year.
I'm here to tell you. Look at me dead in the camera.
I'm looking at
Just look at me. The Mavs are going to finish 4th this year in the West.
4th. Behind Lakers, Suns, Warriors,
and
Mavs.
And I think the Warriors. Yeah. Yes.
High Boot says that Boban is going to shoot 40% from 3-point range.
I agree with that. Now does that mean he's going to shoot 10 threes and hit 4 of them? Yes.
Yeah, what's the minimum number of 3-point shots that you have to take
before they start
counting?
I think it's 10 or something.
Like, technically, Dwight Howard shoots 100% from 3 in the NBA Finals. Technically that is true, but he only did take the one shot. So
he only did take the one shot. I think the Mavs will finish 4th this year.
Do you think that's 4th seed because everyone else in the West got worse? That isn't those.
It's a little bit of both. I think the Mavs have added some complementary elements that weren't there. We signed Tim Hardaway to an extension. Tim Hardaway is one of those players that I think if he goes anywhere else, he's okay.
Yeah.
But on the Mavs, he's very good because he just basically gets asked to do one thing, and that's stand behind the 3-point line and shoot. And he's really good at that. I think we've added Randy Bullock. And you have to say Bullock. Because that's how you pronounce his name. And I think he's a pretty good complementary player. I think Jalen Brunson for the backup point guard for Luka Doncic is genuinely probably a starter on
most teams, most below 500
20
teams.
Probably 20 NBA teams, I would say. Maybe. I think it is. I think this team is going to actually take a step forward a little bit, but I also think, to your point, that the rest of the West is not as good this year.
No.
And I think that's where I'm coming from.
Now here's the thing, John.
Yes.
The only reason why I would say that they are not going to make the 4 seed.
Okay, what's up?
Is because you will be being coached by Jason Kidd.
See, now I don't think. Okay, now this is breaking news. This is very funny, and I'm very sorry. Very sorry. You remember how yesterday LiAngelo Ball was signed to a G League deal?
Yes.
He has been waived this morning.
Are you fucking kidding me? They haven't even started yet.
That is breaking news. Sorry, just got it on my timeline.
He was legitimately good in.
I know.
In summer league.
There's
there is literally no fucking way.
I know, poor dude.
Wait, why?
Sorry,
there's gotta be something.
There's gotta be a reason.
There's gotta be something there.
He has turbo COVID. He's just been coughing on everyone. I don't know. I think you're all right. So you said Jason Kidd. Yes.
Yeah.
Jason Kidd will be coaching. My hope, I don't know if this is an accurate prediction, but the Dallas, the Metroplex is what we call Dallas Fort Worth. Yeah. Dallas is used to
bad coaching.
Having a coach come in, take the elements of a team that was good under someone else's watch, and scrape it together just by sheer will of that roster being good.
Yeah.
And I think
the
Jason
Garrett story, yeah, for sure.
The Jason Garrett story, the Barry Switzer story from the mid-90s Cowboys, like, this is a Dallas staple. We bring in a really shitty coach that no one listens to, and we do okay in spite of that. And I think Jason Kidd is going to be is going to be that coach. He's trash. He is a bad coach and a bad person. Dude. Yeah, and I think like that's a problem. But I think we're going to win in spite of him.
Yeah.
That's what I think.
Best of luck to you. The Warriors are going to be really fucking good this year.
I'm
scared. I am afraid of the Golden State Warriors again.
I'm scared of two things. I'm scared of the Golden State Warriors if they're at full power, and I am. Remember when Brian Danielson, AEW's Brian Danielson, went back to the WWE after all his neck surgery?
And every single time I watched him wrestle, I was like,
because he was in matches with like Sheamus and like other people getting thrown around on his neck. That is how I'm going to feel for the first 3 weeks of the NBA season with Klay Thompson.
Yeah.
I just need to see that dude shoot threes again. He is a great player, and I hope he just has a full season. And if he's healthy, that team is really scary.
I think Klay, I'm trying to figure out. So he's going to be cleared for practice. This came out yesterday. He's going to be cleared for full practice later this month. And I don't think Steve Kerr or ownership would let him come to an NBA. I think he's going to play for the Santa Cruz Warriors for at least another month after that. So I don't think Klay Thompson steps on the floor for the Golden State Warriors until Christmas.
Yeah. But still.
But yeah.
Once that happens.
Yeah. It's gonna be scary. Used to be my body every time I like watched football. Like the first 2 weeks of watching the NFL season for like 5 straight years, I was like, oh my God, they hit each other so hard. What the fuck? You can't. Jesus Christ! And then I'm like, I'm completely dead to when a kicker gets blown the fuck up. Yeah, the rest of the West I don't think is good.
Nah, it's not worth talking about.
Damian Lillard is not a Portland Trailblazer by the end of the season.
Okay, who does he get traded to?
I don't know. The Sixers is, I guess, like the. I think like.
Do you think that's how Ben Simmons gets out of Philly?
Yeah, I think the Trailblazers are going to be very bad, and then they are going to give up too much to be nice to Damian Lillard. And
Maritime Fox, wow, Maritime Fox, thank you so much. You have to have 82 3-pointers made. Thank you for being our basketball reference for this episode. I appreciate it.
Damn, good to know.
Good to know.
Oh, so at least one per game.
Yeah.
That makes sense. Yeah, I have no faith in the fucking Chauncey Billups led Portland Trailblazers.
Odd.
No, that team is going to be so unbelievably unwatchable. However,
bad.
as we move to the Eastern Conference, the land of NBA League Pass.
Yes.
We'll talk about Brooklyn at the end. Detroit, not going to be good. Fun to watch though.
But Cade Cunningham is going to be really fun to watch.
Charlotte.
That
ball boy. Very good at basketball.
LaMelo's really good.
He was making passes in preseason this year that I was like, how did you get better?
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
That
team is young and it's fast and it's exciting.
Yeah. That team is going to injure people. Do you know what I mean by that? Like they're
just be so fast, put people on skates. Yeah.
That team is the pace of that team is going to be unreal. And like, if I'm what the fuck is this dude's name?
What,
LaMelo? The Lakers coach.
Oh,
what is his fucking name?
No, I can see his little face.
I can see his face. What's his name?
Vogel.
For some reason, my brain was like Frank Ntilikina, but that's not right.
No,
but it was Frank Vogel. If I'm him, I sit everybody. I just like call up the entirety of the G League team, and I just send those guys out because LeBron James is gonna run too fast and explode. The fucking Bulls, though. The Bulls are the team that I am legitimately excited to watch.
I mean, it's exciting, especially for Zach LaVine to not even have to care about playing defense now.
Yeah, because if you score 150 points, it doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. Like, it just fucking doesn't matter. If you got Lonzo, DeMar DeRozan, Vucevic, and Zach LaVine on a team, I think you're just good.
And Alex Caruso will start a lot of games. I think they'll
probably split starts. I think it'll be like Lonzo or Caruso. But Caruso's looked good.
He's looked really good. It's almost like there were too many good guys in front of him on the Lakers. Like I was very sad to watch him go, but I was very happy for him as a player because he is going to develop and become maybe not like a bona fide star, but he might slip into an all-star game, like actually. Not as a comedy joke that we're all trying to tell.
It would still be a comedy joke for me, but I know what you're saying. Yeah.
Cleveland might be okay to watch instead of completely miserable to watch.
I mean, they've got some young pieces that I like a lot. Yeah. I think Evan Mobley, the rookie there, is going to be really interesting. I think he's a sleeper for Rookie of the Year for me. But we'll have to see. That's a fun team, fun backcourt for sure.
The Wizards are going to be miserable to watch, and I'm really excited for that city to learn. You don't
think Spencer Dinwiddie is gonna fucking transform that team?
I don't think Spencer Dinwiddie, KCP, Kyle Kuzma, 3 out of 5. Beal. Yeah, Bradley Beal. That doesn't like Ray Hachimura.
Montrezl Harrell is on that team now.
That to me sounds like bad basketball.
I think they're not gonna make the playoffs.
No, and they're going to be miserable to watch. Now we'll go through I think the teams that have maybe a fighting chance behind the Nets. Miami, I think they just had an off year last year. They were fucking tired.
Kyle Lowry.
They have Kyle Lowry now. Jimmy Butler still good at basketball.
Still good.
So that team, I think, has a legitimate shot. The Knicks, I wouldn't say, and I guess Ka should have been on the International Space Station this week. That team is going to get relegated. And I didn't even know that was a thing that they did in the NBA.
You think they're going to be so bad they're going to get
sent down to the G League, yeah.
Now, why do you think they've added pieces? They added Kemba Walker.
Yeah, gone. relegated to the straight to the G League. We're bringing the NBA is going to bring in Real Madrid in place of the New York Knicks. No, the Knicks are going to not be good until I think they're going to be 500 until like February or like until the All-Star break, and then they're going to turn it around and then like slide into either the play-in or like make it at 6.
I mean, my not particularly bold prediction is that the Knicks will be perfectly fine, and then they're going to play Atlanta again.
Ooh, that would be so tasty.
It would be tasty because I just don't I just want to see more Atlanta and Knicks because I just love a natural villain.
Yeah.
And Trae Young is so great in that role.
Yeah.
I think the Knicks will make the playoffs. I think Julius
so
Randle. I think Julius Randle's really good. They've kind of stumbled into what feels like Derrick Rose's like second or third career renaissance,
which is wild,
and also put Kemba Walker on that team.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of depth in that position in the backcourt, and I think like the Knicks have got some really good pieces. So we'll see if they can put together.
There's like the sports are a lot of Jesus Christ. As soon as I say this sentence, ESPN's gonna fucking knock on the door and they're gonna be like, "You want to be on First Take next week?" Sports is almost entirely about intangibles, you know?
Yeah.
That Knicks team got fucking shook last year, and I think this year they're going to be like, all right, look, we are not, that's not us. Like, that is not this New York Knicks team. We are going to play very hard, and you will not see that version of that Knicks team that was basically bullied out of their own fucking building by Trae Young.
They were in a perfect storm of history of that town being so ready for there to be an incredible team, and they wanted it all
immediately
on their first go, where everyone from the outside looking in was like, this team is pretty young. It's like they put some pieces together. The GM doesn't seem to be shitting the entire bed anymore, which is interesting. And this team is going to be there. But that whole town seemed to make it so important for them to get out of that round the first year they got there. And it's like, nah.
Act like you've been there before, you know?
Act like you've been there before.
Just like fucking act like you've been. I know you haven't. Just like
act
like you've been there before, you know? Like John and I have recently been there, you know?
Yeah.
Like within both of our lifetimes. Like just fucking act like you've been there before.
Just act like you've been there.
On the other side of the river though, we got Brooklyn. It's art over there.
If you don't know, Kyrie Irving is not going to take the vaccine, and he says it's because he's not afraid of the vaccine or he's not some sort of COVID denialist, but rather he hates the fact that it's being mandated against people's jobs. And so he doesn't want to participate in this thing that is being held like a sword of Damocles over people like Sage Steele at ESPN, who said she didn't want to get the vaccine, and some other folks who might be out of a job if they don't get the vaccine. So that's why he apparently isn't doing it. There were some I thought it was really interesting that, there are all these rules coming out about like different towns with COVID regulations. He might be able to play half the games. He might not be able to play any of them. And the Nets just came out and said, if he's a part-time player, we're not playing him. So it was like, okay.
Now, here's my question to you, John.
Yeah.
How much money would you have to throw away to not put ball in net if all you had to do was get vaccine?
Well, I mean, the flip of that is that there isn't anything you couldn't inject in me for $200 million. Like, yeah, I'll answer that question.
I agree.
Like, I don't know what you couldn't inject in me for $200 million.
I would let you put fucking Cheerio slurry into my arm.
I would take the horse. I would take the horse shit that the psychos think is curing COVID. I would do that for $200 million.
I can't.
I would do the dewormer. I would do a little bit of bleach.
Yeah, just a little bit.
Like a skosh for $200 million. Absolutely. Yeah. I'll take my chances.
It's just, bleach not gonna kill you, but like,
oh, Not for 200 million. I'll go to the hospital. It's fine.
I'll buy the hospital. But it's
I'll
like,
buy the hospital.
I just don't. I know it's Kyrie. There was a period of time where I was like, I've done multiple of these on Kyrie. When he was fucking like the earth is flat, I was like, this dude, shut the fuck up. And then he was like, hey, no one in the NBA cares about mental health. And I was like, you know what, Kyrie?
He's right.
You're fucking right. You're right. I love this dude.
He gave money to WNBA players.
Yes. Like that was
time off
last year.
Yeah, it was last year. And when I saw that, I was like, man, Kyrie's that fucking dude. Yeah. That's rad.
Yeah. And then, you know?
And then.
So it's like, I don't know. Here's the thing about the Nets, though.
Yeah.
They do still have Kevin Durant. And they also do still have James Harden,
James Harden as a footnote on your team.
Yeah.
Like it's the fucking 2011 Thunder. I don't even think he played for the Thunder then. 2009, whatever.
Yeah. But like
that's crazy because but Kevin Durant is, I think,
the best player in the NBA.
For my money, the best player in the NBA.
They were literally 2 inches away from the finals last year.
Yeah.
Without James Harden could not walk last year.
No.
And they were literal inches away from the finals last year. So I'm not worried about them at all.
No.
But now here's another question. Do you think you would do more or less as the coach of the Brooklyn Nets than Steve Nash currently does?
That's such an unfair question because I love Steve Nash.
I also love Steve Nash. Los Angeles Laker legend, Steve Nash.
I love Steve Nash so much. The day that Mark Cuban let that dude walk away from the Mavs, I was so sad. That was one of the saddest days of my sports life. But I have to say I'd probably be doing more than
I would agree. Nash. A child would be doing more than Steve Nash currently does for that team. But you know what? I respect that. I am all in favor of people collecting checks to do literally nothing.
I think Steve Nash is actually probably very quietly going to be one of the better coaches in the league, but he knows right now there's what could what could he do?
Exactly.
I don't know what could he do. Because you've got 3 personalities on the team that are very, very, very self-minded, but also extremely competitive. One of them maybe won't suit up. I think he's going to get the shot. What do you think?
I also think he's going to get the shot because his whole thing is he changes his mind.
He changes his mind.
That's his whole vibe is that like he will say something and then never say it again. Or he will say something and then he will change his mind.
High Boots says someone has to look cute in a half zip.
He does.
Which is, I think,
someone has to. Now here's another trade that I will propose to you.
Okay, what's the trade?
Ben Simmons for Kyrie straight up.
So what is that? What does that do to the depth chart? Is it?
I don't know.
Is it Durant at the 3?
Mm-hmm. And then Ben Simmons kind of floating around in the paint, not really doing anything, but he'll be on the court, which is important for the Nets.
Okay.
And then
so Durant more of still a natural wing position, which he played for most of his early career, and then Harden probably as point, and Simmons just kind of running around.
Yeah, like a little guy.
Just like a little guy running around.
And then it's good for Philadelphia because they get Ben Simmons out, and then when Kyrie decides to claim some of the $200 million he's owed,
Yeah.
Also, like, he's also, I know he talked shit about Nike like a couple of months ago, but like that deal's, why would you, he will play as many basketball games as me. Why don't I have a shoe?
Yeah, that's a really good
So
question.
like, he stands to lose
My
more than
thing.
just $200 million is basically what I'm
Oh, I
saying.
know. Oh, right.
So
It's a
like,
huge deal.
I feel like someone is gonna, in his sleep, give him the fucking Johnson & Johnson shot.
Just like, listen, Kyrie, I'm sorry. Is your arm a little sore this morning? I'm sorry.
You fell onto the vaccine. I'm really sorry.
Yeah.
Anyway, here's your card.
The only reason that I really want to see that Sixers Nets trade is because it's going to be so much funnier to see Joel Embiid get mad and try to kill Kyrie Irving than Ben Simmons, because Ben Simmons and Joel Embiid roughly the same size.
Yeah. That fight's not going to be that interesting.
That fight is going to be a tough one.
Yeah.
Joel Embiid could probably pick Kyrie Irving up by the neck,
and
like
throw him out of the fucking building. Like Ganjahorn brings up an incredible point. Kyrie's agent also not making money,
not gonna get paid.
That's why that's legitimately why I'm like, God, if I was Kyrie Irving's agent, I would have already knocked Kyrie Irving out and given him the Johnson & Johnson vaccine. I would be fired and taken to jail.
Right.
But those contracts,
it would be in there.
It would be in there, and the contracts you have to still follow a contract. Like you can't cancel those.
Right.
Like I signed it and Kyrie signed it, so like I'm still making the money in jail, but I got $20 million.
Yep.
So when I get out,
you've got that $20.
I got $20 million.
Yeah.
Easy. It's really easy. Orlando.
Oh, Orlando's gonna be. This was the depth. I didn't say this earlier, but when we were talking before in pre-pro, I said, "Ooh, some of these depth charts are bad." Orlando's was the one I was looking at. That team, I think. Now there are a couple really young, good players on that team.
Let me just go down this list.
Please go down it.
This is the roster, not including the injured players. So the injured folks are Markelle Fultz. He tore his ACL in January, so he's done for the year.
He's out.
And Jonathan Isaac injured his knee, and he will probably not play at the beginning of the season, but he'll be back.
Unless he prays hard enough.
Unless he prays hard enough, he might come through.
Yeah.
Robin Lopez, Michael Carter-Williams, Devin Kennedy, Gary Harris, RJ
that's where Gary Harris is now? I didn't even see that.
Mo Bamba, Mortiz Wagner, Wendell Carter Jr.
Yep.
Terrence Ross is somehow on this Magic team. Jalen Suggs. And then literally 5 guys I've never heard of.
Well, Cole Anthony's there too.
Cole Anthony's also here.
Yeah. Cole Anthony is a good young player. I think Jalen Suggs has a chance to be a really good player. The rest of that roster is I don't even know what pieces are there to work with. Like
there aren't any.
They're not none of that's great trade bait. Like Jonathan Isaac is a good defender,
but injured. So like,
but he's injured, so he's not going anywhere.
That's gonna be a bad basketball team.
That's gonna be a really bad team.
Speaking of bad basketball teams, I was reminded by someone in the chat. He said this. Someone was like, "Remember Houston?" I literally forgot. We talked about every other team in the West.
Every other team in the West
except Houston, which they should just let the Magic and Houston play each other for 82 games.
I think Houston will be a little bit fun, but just because they've actually got 2 players on it that I'm like, oh, I'm interested in those 2 players.
Who?
There's Jalen Green and then Christian Wood. I think those 2 players are pretty good.
I can't believe John Wall fell off a cliff so hard. I can.
I can. I mean, I don't know. It's rough. It's rough.
All right, John. It's predictions time.
Yeah, let's do predictions.
Let me play the prediction music. Can you pull up the list for me?
The list of who?
Of cat, because you made a list yesterday of categories.
Oh, I did. Yeah. It is MVP, Rookie of the Year. Let me stretch all the way back here, and like Western Conference Finals, Eastern Conference Finals, and we think will be in the finals.
All right. Where I'm looking at it now. Okay, MVP, John.
I believe the MVP of this year's National Basketball Association will be, and I know this is going to be the most predictable answer that I could have come up with, but I believe it's going to be Luka Doncic.
Oh my fucking God. What? Holy shit.
I do.
Chat, hold on. I need to fucking recover. Oh my God.
I do. I think it's going to be Luka Doncic. I think it's going to be Luka Doncic. Yeah. I think it's going to be Luka Doncic. Yeah. I think he's gonna. I think he's
so
really.
Fucking hot, I have to crack open a cold one.
Oh yeah, but what time is it?
1:30.
I'm on that tip too today. It's all right. But I think it's gonna be Luka. I kind of weighed my options here. I still think Kevin Durant is the best player in the league. I think Giannis might still be right there. But my hunch is that we're just gonna see close to what Luka's ceiling is maybe this year, and I think that's gonna be good enough to be an MVP.
Good.
That's my take. What do you think?
I believe firmly in my heart that the 2021-22 most valuable player in the National Basketball Association will be Steph Curry.
Oh, really? That's an interesting choice.
I watched basically every Warriors preseason game this year.
Yeah.
And the way I have not felt as afraid of a basketball team.
Yeah.
Watching that basketball team in preseason.
Yeah.
Now, I will say this. That team could also just be mid. Like they could hover around 500.
Yeah.
That team feels very close, to me, with my eye test, to pre-KD Warriors. Now, the league is very different.
League's very different
around them than it was in 2000 and was that 14, 15, 16. But I just think there's going to be too many outside threats, and I think Steph is going to end up with the ball a lot, and I think he's going to go the fuck off. Also, because
he's going to jack up 10 threes a game.
He's going to fuck that sky, you know?
Yeah.
And like, I don't know. I have a feeling that Steph Curry is going to be like, hey, fucking remember me? I'm Steph Curry.
Totally fine pick. Yeah. I mean, I believe it in a heartbeat. I really would.
Yeah. Rookie of the Year, John.
I am having it's weird. I think the really safe bet is Cade Cunningham. I also think that it's going to be Cade Cunningham.
I also think it's going to be Cade Cunningham. So,
but I'm also kind of like James Bouknight over at Charlotte could be one of those players that really benefits from that crazy style, that really fast run and gun that LaMelo Ball's doing. It could be Jalen Green, who's probably just going to be the offensive facilitator in Houston, and he might just end up not breaking, but getting close to some sort of rookie scoring record because I think he'll be one of their only good options. But I still think it's going to be Cade Cunningham. It's just he's too interesting and strange as a player, a 6'8" guard that moves so fast. And I think he's gonna cause mismatches basically at 3 or 4 positions.
Yeah.
So
I
yeah,
think
that's
that the important thing about Rookie of the Year too is that that award is so thoroughly based on whether or not you change the direction of the team over the course of that year. So it's like obviously we don't vote, but like the way I would vote is like I would look at the team the year prior and be like, okay, which bad team was changed by the child that they hired?
Yeah.
Into being fun.
Right.
And whoever, like, that is the barometer by which I would make that choice. And like, you know who was really fucking bad last year and miserable to watch? The Detroit Pistons.
They were terrible.
And I think they might actually be interesting to interact with this year. So
I mean, the reason Jae'Sean Tate got into a short list of rookies last year is because he was one of the bright spots on a bad Houston team. So you know, he made them more watchable. I don't think I would have had him close to being as good as you know Anthony Edwards or LaMelo. But you know, that's how players get on that list. So yeah, I think you're right.
All right, who's in the Eastern Conference Finals, John?
I think Eastern Conference Finals. I think the Nets ultimately do get over this bullshit and get there. Whether it's with Kyrie or without, I'm not sure it really matters, to be honest.
I don't think it does
either. And I think it'll be the Nets and the Bucks, and I do think the Bucks will be back. We didn't really talk about the Bucks at all.
No,
but
because I don't like treating
you and I.
Respect.
But you and I both had a full 180 on Giannis during the playoffs last year, and I think, you know, seeing the way he played, especially in the finals, I'm like, okay, that dude, he might not have even found what his ceiling is.
Yes,
and that's pretty scary.
Here is the thing that I think the Bucks are going to be very good. They are still going to be coached by Mike Budenholzer, who I think is a bad basketball coach.
I do too.
I think they won.
You and I both agreed that they should have fired Budenholzer
even after they won the finals. I think Giannis is going to, like Maritime Fox says, I think Giannis has probably been working on a jumper over this offseason. He is going to have a weird mid-range game that is going to not be good for a while, and then all of a sudden you're going to be like, "Fuck me, running!
Oh no!
I have to guard him from 15 feet. Like, this sucks." Yeah. So, yeah, like I don't know. Giannis scored 50 fucking points to clinch that game at the end of the finals.
Yep.
They won that championship in spite of Mike Budenholzer.
Yeah.
Not because of him. So
agreed.
I don't, and they also almost, because of Mike Budenholzer's bad play design and bad coaching, almost lost against the Nets.
Yeah.
So I also think is going to be Bucks Nets, but I don't think the Bucks are going to be able to. I don't know if Giannis is going to be able to carry them again that hard. And if he does, then holy fucking shit. Why are we talking about anybody else?
Yeah, I agree. But I agree with you. I think the Nets get there.
Yeah. Western Conference Finals. This one I think is legitimately difficult.
I think it's very difficult. Every fiber of my being wants to say the Mavs make it to the Western Conference Finals, but I don't think they take that leap this year. I do think they get out of the first round. Yeah. I think they make it to the Western Conference semis. I do think who ends up in the Western Conference Finals are the Los Angeles Lakers and the Golden State Warriors.
Oh my fucking god, John! The show's not fun if we have the same picks across the goddamn board.
We didn't coordinate this ahead of time.
We didn't coordinate it at all. But that's what I also think.
But I believe the Suns will be disappointing in the playoffs, and I think the Warriors will take a step. I think they'll get there. I think they'll be ferocious. I think teams have. I still agree with your point that the teams are really different around the league this year. Yeah. But it has also been a minute since the Warriors have just been a fucking buzzsaw, and like I don't think people remember that.
They don't.
They don't remember it.
Yeah, like
and
a lot of the key elements are still there. Yeah. They
So
brought
it could
back
just
Andre
easily happen.
Iguodala. You know how old that
Yeah.
guy is? 135. You know what he still
135.
can do? Play the
Still
game
ball.
that Andre Iguodala has literally always played.
Yep.
And that's scary. I would be scared. I am scared.
Yeah.
Fuck. Okay, here's what we're gonna do. What are the 4 teams in the semis?
Okay. I think it's Mavs, Warriors, and Mavs get like swept. Okay.
Yeah, you're gonna say Suns, Lakers on the other side, and it's.
I want to say Suns, Lakers on the other
Jesus fucking
side.
Christ, dude! That's that's exactly what I was going to say.
Okay.
Warriors sweep the Mavs in the semis, and then
Yeah.
Lakers in 5 over the Suns.
Yeah. I mean, I'm sorry. I don't think.
Listen.
I think the Mavs will get out of that round, but it's like I think they're going to get their asses
Who's
kicked.
in the fucking play-in tournament, John?
Oh, who's in the play-in? So that's what 7, 8, 9, and 10.
I don't remember. I have to look at that.
I think 7, 8, 9, and 10 is the playoff.
NBA playoff rules. No,
I think it's Sacktown.
Ugh, gross. You're right though.
I think it's Sacktown at the 7.
Yeah.
I
right.
think
it's
it
7
is
through 10.
I think it's Portland at the 8. I think it is San Antonio at the 9 and Minnesota at the 10.
Spurs are gonna slide in there.
Yeah.
Because Greg Popovich, I think, is tired of not making the playoffs.
Oh yeah, I think he's angry. Yeah.
And
he's the best coach. I think that's probably ever played the coach of the game. So I'm always terrified of Greg Popovich. Yeah.
I think that is probably correct. I think a lot of things have to happen correctly for the Timberwolves to get in over the Thunder. What I think is going to happen, here's what I actually think is going to happen. I think the Thunder at around the All-Star break are going to be at like 500, and then they're going to be like, okay, well, we need to start tanking. And then they're not going to tank well enough, and then they're going to accidentally end up in the play-in tournament.
Yeah, that sounds like them.
So that's what I feel like. In the East, I have no fucking idea. Like literally every team that isn't the Bucks and the Nets could be in the play-in tournament. I don't know.
I mean, the play-in tournament, I don't know. I think it's a free-for-all for the play-in tournament. I think the semis, I think it's Atlanta, Milwaukee, and I'm just gonna say it. I'm gonna just do it. I'm gonna take my chances. I think it's gonna be Chicago.
I don't know if Chicago absolutely makes the playoffs.
I think they make it.
I think they have a similar experience that the Knicks had last year, where they get there, they get shook, and then they feel like the air is that they feel like they lost it a little bit, you know, and then they come back and recalibrate.
For whatever reason, I feel like the DeMar DeRozan presence makes a difference. But
because he's old and has not a ring, but is old.
He's old.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I think that Bulls team is literally like when after the dust settled on free agency, I was like, well,
they did the best.
They did the best, and B, that's why I'm buying League Pass.
Yeah.
So
they're very suddenly an exciting team. So
who wins the finals, Sean? Who's in there and who wins it? Well, okay, let's say it at the same time.
Okay, which way are you going to say? The West first?
I'm going to say West first and then East.
Okay.
Are you
ready? Or is it on 3 or
we're going to go 1, 2, 3 and then say it.
Okay.
All right. I have to. Yeah, okay, I'm ready. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Lakers, Nets.
Warriors, Nets.
Yeah. You think the Warriors beat the Lakers in the
yes.
WCF? I can see that only if the Lakers. Now, hear me out. This is going to be a really
now.
hard
Are you going to say if the oldest team in the league has injuries?
If the Los Angeles Lakers have injuries going into the
Uh-huh.
playoffs, I can see them getting beat. Based on,
and I'll just say this, and I hate saying shit like this. Anthony Davis doesn't play that series. I don't know why, but he doesn't.
Based on let me look really quickly at my notes. It says history.
And LeBron sits for one game.
Yeah, right on here. It says history. Based on history, there's no way this team is fully healthy. No. Audrey says Carmelo Anthony might literally die. That's entirely possible.
Pass away.
No, but yeah, I do think it is. If that team, I'm
high on the Warriors.
I'm really high on the Warriors. Here's the thing that I'm trying to figure out, though.
Yeah.
I don't know which of the two between. Never mind. I know it is, but I'll say it out loud anyway. I was trying to figure out which one of the two after LeBron between AD and Russell Westbrook is a bigger hit to that team.
Mm-hmm.
And it's got to be AD because AD is going to play the 5 a lot this year.
A lot. Yeah. He doesn't have to. But
he doesn't have to, but I think they're going to it's a very good threat.
Yeah.
Is the thing. Having true. Anthony Davis at the 5 actually bullying people is scary for other teams. Yeah. Also, I don't know how it's steroids. I don't know how, but Dwight Howard looks better than he did when he was with the Lakers the second time.
Yeah.
Most recently. I don't think it's steroids. I think he just enjoys playing in Los Angeles and likes playing on a good basketball team.
Yes.
I think that's what it is.
I think that's it. Yeah.
But I don't know. Oh, here's one. Most improved player. That's the one we didn't fucking
wow.
That's the one we didn't do. Oh, over 16 techs for Dwight Howard this year. Absolutely. Over. Absolutely over. He gets a suspension. He gets a 1-game suspension for having too many techs.
Most improved player. Oh. That's a really tough one. I think
if Ben Simmons hits a game winner in a playoff series, does he get it? The improvement is he shot the basketball.
He shot the basketball. I think it's I think it's maybe a little bit tough because you don't typically see really young players get this award. I think Tyrese Halliburton is going to be like a superstar caliber player.
Yeah.
And I think he gets that. I think he makes that step this year.
Yeah.
And he probably gets that award.
I think it's going to be Rui Hachimura.
Okay.
Oh my God. Nor Veston also says Rui Hachimura. I like that.
I think it's a perfectly good pick.
I like that kid.
Yeah.
I also think I make fun of the Wizards because who gets the fucking Wizards? And they took my trash away from me.
They took my trash.
But I do think that team actually will have some sort of identity with the new coach, with an influx of new players, and I think that Rui will have the ball in his hands a little bit more, and I think he will have an opportunity to pop off. I also think in a similar vein to Rookie of the Year, most improved is a lot about whose name were you saying last year, not in Rookie of the Year, or whose name were you saying on a bad team, and then whose name are you saying a lot now?
Yeah.
That team could might not even need to make a big jump.
Yeah.
But I think that's the thing.
Yeah,
folks. I think that's gonna do it. What's that?
Big season coming up.
It's a big one. The way that the NBA is advertising, or at least on ESPN, is that it's anyone's game, which they do every year. But this year, I actually do think that the field is more open than it has felt in a while. I think any of our predictions could be unbelievably wrong.
Yeah,
last year I think there was a feeling of inevitability for Lakers Nets.
Yeah.
But then obviously the season happened. But now, like, I don't think there's a favorite, because there are too many question marks around the teams that you would consider the favorites.
Yeah.
So like, I think it literally could be anyone except the Jazz.
It's gonna be fun.
Fuck the Utah Jazz.
It's not gonna be the Jazz. We both agree with that.
Oh shit! Before we go, I was looking at the G League the other day because I had a question for myself, or my brain asked myself a question. My question was, what is the process by which LeBron James's child plays with LeBron James?
Yeah.
I don't think I've done some like thinking, and I think LeBron James retires as a Los Angeles Laker at this point. I don't know how the Lakers tank enough to get LeBron. I don't think LeBron James Jr. goes number 1, but he's going to be top 15. And the Lakers don't end up, they're not going to end up top 15. So I was like, okay, so can the Lakers sign, can LeBron James Jr. skip college and go to the G League and then just be signed by the South Bay Lakers and then moves up? But then Dwayne Wade, literally yesterday, the co-owner of the Utah Jazz, his son was signed by the Utah Jazz's G League affiliate.
Yeah. So you figured it out.
So you can just do it.
You can just do it. The other thing would be really funny is if LeBron James Jr. was like, no, I'm going to go through the draft. Like, I want to do this. Yeah. Like, I want to be number 1 in the draft. And then LeBron convinces the Lakers to trade Anthony Davis to like anyone for that number 1 pick. It's just like
80 for this number 1 pick straight up. Who says no?
Straight up. That's it. That's all I want. 80 for
AD and
for
Carmelo
LeBron James
Anthony's
Jr.
fucking dusty bones.
Who
says no? Yeah, that is fuck.
But yeah, you can. I've always thought about that. Like, can't someone great just be like, nope, I'm not going through this. I'm just gonna go through this other channel and then whatever. I guess it's a money issue.
It's a money issue, right? Because like, it's a money issue, but also the last time I can remember this happening in any other professional sport was when Eli Manning was like, I'm not going to the fucking Chargers. Are you kidding me? Which is the
actually, now that I've seen that fucking Monday Night Football show they do, Eli Manning might be pretty funny.
Eli Manning is legitimately funny.
He's funny.
He did the double birds on fucking ESPN.
It was really funny. And while he said it, he was like, I don't think I can do this. But he did it anyway. I was like, man, Eli Manning's kind of funny. He was definitely funny when he was getting the brakes beaten off of him every week by the rest of the NFC East. But like, that was the first funny thing he did. He was just like, I'm not going to San Diego.
Are you kidding me? Like, I think that's what would have to happen, right? Like, But I don't know if you know anything about the NBA contracts. For example, the last thing I learned about the G League is that when you get fouled in the G League, you only take 1 shot. That shot is worth however many points the shot attempt was.
Right.
They should do that.
I think they should do that too.
Anyway, they should also go to 3v3 for overtime. Thank you so much for listening. It should be 3v3 half court in overtime.
I agree.
Fuck the All-Star game. It should just be a 3v3 tournament, half court. Thank you so much for listening, everybody, to the return of Corner 3. John, are we putting this in the feed?
I have no idea. Where this is going. If it's going to the feed, cool. But if not, we'll put it up on the pod.
It'll be on YouTube. So, yeah, make sure that you tell your friends if you had fun. I feel like we had a lot of folks. I can see you lurking in chat.
Thanks.
But
thanks,
you.
chat.
Yeah, thank you for rolling through. This was a lot of fun. We will be back next Friday with some basketball games to talk about. And until then, John, where can the people find you? It is on the screen, but just in case they
on the screen. You can, well, or they can't see as well. There are like a few different ways to it's fine. At floppy adult.
Not being blind is technically being illiterate.
I don't think that's true. And I am going to clip that and use it as a blackmail.
I've always, listen, everyone knows this about me. I fucking hate accessibility. I think we should get rid of subtitles. And I just
you're always saying
I'm always saying this.
Yeah.
You can find me on Twitter at Godzilla. I'm just trying to get canceled instead of Pokemon Card Lady today. Just trying to like turn the narrative. You can find us on Twitter at Fanbyte Media. YouTube.com/Fanbyte is where our VODs are. If you type in Fanbyte into the YouTube channel or into the YouTube search box, there's another Fanbyte channel. You can tell it's different because it's got a blue icon instead of the red one. That's where the good stuff goes. The one that's called Fanbyte on Demand is the VOD channel. So make sure you're subscribed to both of those. All of our podcasts are at podcastnet.work. And then you can hang out in the Discord where we've got a sports channel and more. And some really exciting stuff coming in 2 weeks, week and a half. So make sure you're in there, fanbyte.casa. And that is it. John, do you want to... I think we should close this show out with an unbelievably spicy take that Max Kellerman would want to jump across the table to tackle you for. So, John, you get it this week.
Okay, that's really good, and you put me on the spot. I will say this.
Wait, hold on. No, wait, hold on.
Okay.
Hold on.
Oh, it's... I love that gets split in the middle, too. It's great.
No,
really
this
good.
Is great.
Okay.
And then I gotta unclick
this is the spicy take camera.
This is the spicy take camera that I will have.
I'll look straight down the barrel.
Yeah.
Okay. Ben Simmons will average 7 points a game.
How do I cut this dude's mic? Bye, everybody.